Honestly, our strategy doesn't really change that much, regardless of what the market is doing. It's basically, we're just trying to build great products and services for customers. And we keep doing that, a lot of the rest will work out. Let's see. So we have been through so many different crypto cycles at this point. A lot of people are new to crypto. They're new to Coinbase, so they probably haven't seen these before. But for folks that have been around a little while, they've seen a few, and they all follow a similar pattern. The thing is, I actually feel like we're better situated through this cycle than we've ever been in the past, both because of the strength of the balance sheet, the number of products that are actually working now in crypto. It's not just a speculative asset class anymore. You know, that was in the early crypto cycles, it was largely speculation driving it, but now there's more and more use cases that people have, like DeFi and NFTs and DAOs and, you know, social and identity, and like all these things are starting to be used more and more. In prior crypto cycles, at the end of the cycle, the up cycle, we saw prices like kind of go vertical for a little bit, and then they crashed down. And that didn't really happen in this cycle. I think probably because the broader macro environment went down, like the broader economy went down, and I guess people were treating crypto like a tech growth stock or something. And so it got sold off similarly. Whereas, anyway, we didn't see that price go vertical right at the end. So it may be less than an 85% drop, peak to trough. But look, this is all a guess. I think people sort of assume like an up cycle is good and a down cycle is bad, or a downward, moment. But it's not really true in my case. The up cycles, look, they're nice in the sense that they bring a lot of new people into crypto. It creates a lot of buzz, a lot of marketing out there. The downside is you're just basically constantly focused on scaling, and it's like all hands on deck just to keep everything running because there's so many new people coming in. Like we've seen traffic and the company and the industry grow like 3 to 5x in a year, which is quite strenuous compared to most how most things grow. But the benefit of it is that for companies who don't do those things, we tend to get more time to focus on doing innovative stuff, building the future of products. We actually tend to pull ahead because like sometimes competitors pivot and they go do other things. And we try to just stay focused, and it's a good moment to like run a leaner, healthier company as well, in a sense. Like, every company accumulates unnecessary things that either you're paying way too much for some vendor you don't need, or like you have way too many headcount on one project and you kind of reallocate that. I think all of us have had that experience where we bought some crypto in an exuberant moment or something like that. Look, nobody can predict the future, right? Certainly not us, not anybody. I think of it as like crypto is not just one thing now. It's a much broader idea. It's kind of a whole area of research in computer science and cryptography. Whether any particular crypto will work or there'll be some flaw, the general idea, it's hard for me to imagine, like you can't really uninvent something once an idea has been released into the world. I like this idea of the wallet evolving to include other things like your identity. And if you have an identity, like let's say with ENS or one of the other standards, why not have a profile associated with your identity, like a public profile page? And it could be built entirely on on-chain data, and there's various interfaces through which you could view your profile, but you could have a variety of things connected in there, like your like a reputation score that could be used to get loans, almost like a FICO, or access to certain things, or to know that you're paying a verified merchant or the right Justin Mart or whatever. And then you could have POAPs in there, right? Like places you've been, like NFTs that you own. I think once you have a profile page and an identity, you might as well have like a follower graph and a social feed and like a social network built on top of this. And there's some really interesting protocols out there in this regard as well. And then like creative people should be posting stuff there, not just like status updates, but their actual work itself, like music and videos or animation, like whatever that they're into, and directly monetize it, all the things that we've talked about, right, with NFTs and all that stuff. So I do think the wallet analogy is going to expand. And actually, if you think about your physical world wallet, it also has your ID in there usually, and it doesn't just have money. It might have like cool photographs that are important to you. And anyway, I'm really excited about that, and hopefully we can build a lot of that stuff into Coinbase Wallet, our self-custodial app. Crypto is really the next internet. It's the next iteration of the internet, and a lot of this stuff's getting rebuilt. It's fascinating to me, just as an aside, by the way, that like Google is not indexing this whole piece of the web right now. Like they're not indexing decentralized identities and like NFTs and smart contracts and like new assets that are getting created and badges and credentialing. And so it's almost like a dark corner of the web. And I think there's like a lot of interesting opportunity in that too. We're actually trying to make it easier and easier for people to like switch between our products. Because many people, when they're signed in, they don't actually know how many products we're offering. Coinbase Commerce and a self-custodial wallet. And so, you know, I think we are basically becoming a company that it's based around repeatable innovation. We have a 70-20-10 resource allocation where 70% of our resources go towards the core thing that makes most of our revenue today, which is largely trading based. 20% are on these adjacent bets, and 10% are these venture bets. And so we're collecting a portfolio of different products. We want to have people inside the company try like really ambitious moonshot stuff. It's okay if it has a higher chance of failure. And then ideally, like these products are nicely integrated in various ways so that, you know, if you buy your crypto one place, maybe it's just one more click to vote in a DAO or to buy an NFT, or you don't necessarily need to be moving your stuff to so many different places. My hope is that Coinbase adheres to the true principles of decentralization, Web3. So it's like, hey, if you don't like us, you can move your stuff to any other platform. None of it is like a lock-in. It's all based on open standards and stuff. But ideally, it's just easy to do it in Coinbase, and it's kind of like a super app over time. And it has more and more functionality, both first-party functionality and third-party apps. So yeah, we wanted to make it easy for people to access third-party applications. And so basically, we have like a dApp marketplace in there. It's a browser where you could load up any kind of third-party app, whether it's, you know, a decentralized exchange, like an NFT marketplace, games, like all these new things that are coming up. There's like literally thousands of these dApps out there. And so what's cool about it is that when you go in there, you can not only see ratings and reviews of different apps in different categories, but if you open one of them, you know, your wallet is already connected. All your funds are ready to spend if you need to do that. Your identity is connected into it as well, like increasingly with ENS. So it's basically getting rid of a lot of the friction to try one of these apps. Like you don't necessarily need to install a Chrome extension, move your funds over, like wait for it to confirm, you know, switch to Polygon network or whatever. Like we're trying to just make all this stuff seamless. So for the average user, and I think that's how we're going to get to like 1 billion people using crypto. We have a new global gold standard that's been introduced with Bitcoin. And, you know, look, there's only 200 million people in the world or so who have tried crypto at this point. I think there is some chance that the Bitcoin becomes the new global reserve currency, right? The new gold standard. Every fiat currency historically starts off connected to some kind of hard commodity like gold or something. But crypto represents a really compelling alternative for the West and Western values to basically embrace decentralization as the new world order. In this last cycle, in the last run-up of crypto, we heard a lot of people, institutions, whatnot, were adopting crypto, putting it on their balance sheet, and they were telling us, we think inflation's coming and this is kind of an inflation hedge. And I basically was of the opinion that if there is a broader economic downturn, that people may move to crypto even more because, you know, the inflation in the US dollar, for instance, is starting to get quite scary, and probably even worse with other fiat currencies. It's actually like our strategy doesn't change at all. We're still just building good stuff, and there's no shortage. There's never been more important things to go build in crypto. Right? I feel like we're kind of like surrounded by billion-dollar opportunities. Just look at the amount of venture dollars and the amount of interesting, smart people like building companies in this space. I can't even keep up with it all at this point. And so I don't think there's a more clear indication of the future than that.